Today marks 4 years since Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine, a war that has reshaped Europe, displaced millions, and left tens of thousands of people dead.
Events are being held across Ukraine, honoring the fallen and reaffirming a nation still under siege. As air raid sirens and missile strikes, they remain a part of daily life there.
And 4 years in, there is still no clear end in sight. The Kremlin now claiming its primary objective is to protect people in the eastern Donbas region, vowing Russia will continue its military campaign until those goals are met.
Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky remains defiant, promising his country will keep fighting, declaring, quote, "Putin has not achieved his goals. He has not broken Ukrainians. He has not won this war." Joining us now to talk about it, former U.S. Ambassador to NATO, Kurt Vollker, and former NATO Supreme Allied Commander and retired U.S. Army General Wesley Clark. Pleasure, gentlemen, to have you both on. General Clark, I'm going to start with you. The biggest hangups are what in trying to broker peace between these two nations?
Bob, the biggest hangup is that in terms of President Trump's peace proposal is that President Putin hasn't accepted it. We don't know if he's accepted any single part of it, but we do know there's a big argument about the land, and President Zelensky says he's not going to pull out of any of the terrain in Donbas that is still under the control of Ukraine. And there are very good reasons for this, because this is part of his so-called fortress belt, which protects all of the land to the west, including as far west as Kyiv. So obviously he's not going to give that up. But there are other things here, because President Putin, he still is not really committed to peace. What he's done is tried to escalate the military aspect of it. And everybody who sees this says, if you want peace, do a ceasefire first. Get a ceasefire in place. And this is what President Putin refuses to do.
Ambassador, to the general's point, we know that Zelensky has accused Putin of essentially starting World War III. Do you see it that way?
Well, look, I think that Russia started the war against Ukraine, clearly. They launched the first aggression in 2014. They took Crimea. They launched another aggression in 2022 that continues right now. And it would be up to Putin to end the war. He just needs to feel a reason to end it. So far, he doesn't, so he keeps going. But I have to say that there's a point to what Zelensky's saying. I wouldn't call it World War III yet. We're not in Asia. We're not in Africa. But Putin's war is not just about Ukrainian territory. It's about pushing back Europe, pushing back the United States, asserting a Russian dominance over Eastern Europe that Putin feels is Russia's right, but tramples on the rights of all of these other people that live in these territories. And they're going to defend themselves. So this is actually a bigger idea from Putin to take over Eastern Europe. And it's a bigger idea from Europe to defend themselves. So it can escalate from here. That's why it's so important that Ukraine be the front line where Russia has actually stopped.
General Clark, what do you think about Ukraine's resistance up to this point, several years into this war, not backing down? And also, are they going to have to give up the Donbas region at some point, or do you think that that should not be acceptable?
Well, they're not going to give up the Donbas region. I mean, they're just not going to do it. And President Zelensky couldn't get them to do it, even if he said he wanted to do it. No, their resistance is totally, it's remarkable. They are so innovative, so determined, so capable at the individual soldier level and at the systems level. With minimal resources, they've blocked the entire Russian army, and they've done it consistently. Now, I fault our own country for not doing more. We should have stopped this in 2014 when Putin first tried to take Crimea. We should have told him, get out of it, but we didn't. And in 2022, we held back critical resources. I don't know why. I guess we were afraid. We should have given them the F-16s, the howitzers, the MLRS, and the tanks, and the other things they requested. But we held these back. We gave Putin the thought that, hey, maybe I just keep going and I can win. No, the Ukraine is going to win this. They have no alternative, and they will hang tough.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there. Ambassador Vollker, General Clark, thank you.
Thank you.